What's up, guys? Today has been an exceptionally difficult day for me for some reason. I don't know why, but ain't that something? I'm trying to get on the live real quick just so I can talk to you guys, see your comments, see what you guys have to say, and all those good, cool things that happen while I'm staying out with you guys. Now I gotta mute this. There we go. That didn't work. Close that burger out. You know what's cool about having noise canceling? Maybe, if I'm lucky, y'all didn't have to hear that. All right, what's up, guys? Good evening. Hope you enjoyed Jacob. All right, so today is a interesting day. We're going to show you guys something neat. I guess I've got pretty much all the precursors to kind of make this explanation. I've been announcing it for a while. I've been telling you guys for a while that I've had something bigger, and of course, this is something bigger right here, right? It's some 7/8 hardline. It's some really cool stuff. We've of course got our RG400 right here, which is cool enough. It's pretty good. It's great, flexible, good wire, good for jumpers and stuff. Then we kind of go up to the RG393, a bit more stiff. Doesn't flex around. I mean, you can bend it down really small, but it kind of just folds back to some degree. But it's still very flexible, but just has a bit of spring retention to it. Then we've got our 7/8. That's just ridiculously stiff. I mean, you can move it around, but that's not much else. And then of course you got your big engine 5/8, right? But barring the engine 5/8, this right here, the 7/8, it's some really a lot of cool stuff, and it covers a lot of people's needs for sure. So here's where the extra one comes in. And that's this booger right here. This one's kind of fancy. Hey, Roha. Hope you're doing well. What's up, legend? Hope you're doing well. So this, of course, is good wire. This is that wire's big brother. And is this wire and this wire's big brother. So yeah, significantly larger. My son likes, Messi, believe it or not, but he's also got a Ronaldo, outfit too. But, I don't have much of an opinion. He watches soccer a lot more than I do. All right. So, check it out, guys. This is, I bought him outfits for both of them though. So he likes both of them. He's got his Messi, jersey and outfit, and then he's got his, Ronaldo one too. So let me move this down over here. Here we go. This right here can do the same. I don't know. I run Ryobi, but I think Milwaukee does a really good job. But if you're looking for versatility, I would refer you back to my wall back there. There is a small wall of a decent amount of green. I haven't really ragged on that too much because it really needs to be reorganized. But yeah, that's back to coax. This right here can handle the same power as what this can right here. So yeah, pretty dang neat. I've been talking about this for a while. I've got wire goes all the way up to a 1 inch in the Teflon wire. This is the new Teflon series wire. It's 1/2 inch in size, and then it also has, of course, smaller versions too. This is a different type of exterior jacket. Both of those are fluoropolymers. This is FEP. The other one's a different fluoropolymer. Also FEP too. But yeah, this just has a different outer jacket, but it has a Teflon dielectric. But yeah, pretty cool. I think this is pretty neat. It's something Oogle for a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and get back to work, and we'll get to work on these split feeds. So the split feed I'm going to be doing is basically just another one of these right here. That's what it looks like. I'll set up like that, go to 2 terminals, and then it'll go to this connector right here. So let me go ahead and grab it. I'm going to get some tools. I'm going to clean up my bench, and then we're going to go ahead and get to work. I had to oogle this wire for a second though, because it's been a long time coming showing you guys this. It's kind of hard to justify the purchase for most guys. Um, so it will be prohibitively expensive getting the big 1 inch. I might do it just for craps and grams, just to show you guys. Gosh, this is heavy. But I don't know if I'm really a glutton for punishment of just wasting money just to waste money, because I've got really all the coax I'm gonna ever need to do all my builds. So kind of redundant for me to buy something like that. Could I do it? Yeah, but it would be uh, a gross waste of money. So I've got to do these. I've got 1, 2, 3 to finish, and then this order will be complete. But this order was put in front of the order that I'm working on right now, because I wasn't ready and didn't have all the parts I needed for it. So I built another split feed, but we've got to do a little rebuild. I actually did some research on what I was doing, and I fell in I think about a millimeter or so. So it's just too close for the setup to work. So I'm going to go ahead and just rebuild an existing split feed. This one right here did great. This one right here was the reason I built that other one over there. So get to work. Copy that. No, we're just doing coaxial stuff. This is what I do. I build coax. Uh, so I deal with communications for a living. Um, we can hang out and talk about whatever. But this is just what I. So if you guys got questions, feel free to hop in and ask. I'm gonna do something odd. You guys can see it. Uh, not really trying to. I am a little hitting a little bit of my jet lag a little bit. I slept good yesterday, but it's definitely starting to catch up with me. I just came back from Hawaii, not last weekend, but the weekend before, and then immediately I drove all the way up to the northeast corner. So that was an experience and a half. So about I think 1,600 miles is what I figured up in from Friday evening at 6 o'clock till Sunday, technically Monday morning at about, what was it, 8 a.m. or so. That was a bit of a hop, skip, and a jump. So there, put this one out here. I'm not, I need to pass this real quick. Well, let me get my Allen real quick. I'm about to knock this whole thing of water over. It just spill it over on top of me in just a minute. Waving a hand, Gavin. Hope you're doing well. Waving a hand, 178. Hope you're doing well. I don't know what's going on with freaking YouTube chat. I can't see what's going on. For some reason, it doesn't show me the people in the comments. All right, whatever. I'll try to respond to you guys. Okay. I'm gonna heat this up one more time. This doesn't really matter. I'm not keeping this piece anyway. This is too risky to be able to try to keep that thing from spilling out. Because I'm not keeping this piece. I've got to remove it right now. I messed around and was trying a different method before, and I didn't remember my original method for working on these ends. And whenever I did, it worked, but it's about a millimeter off, and I can't do that. That kind of tolerance is just you'd think it's acceptable, but it's not. It won't work for what I do. So because of one friggin' millimeter, I've got to redo this. To be honest, I'm not that bothered by it because I've got most of this already done, prepped. I'm just going to take this end off and put it on another piece. But while I'm doing it, I'm going to make sure I follow the same protocols that I did for that last build that turned out nice. So that's what we don't be doing here. Let's figure out if I want to, nah, it's not that right now. I need to find out how to do this, I guess, maybe for now. I'm just going to hold the Teflon. The Teflon's not super hot. If I touch the body of this coax, it can burn me. If that solder falls on my hand, it can burn me. I can use pliers on this. Give me a second. I'm gonna burn the piss out of myself so I don't watch it again. Same thing as I mentioned earlier. Let me drop this in some water. Pull it off. So I thought of a better method than what I was about to do right there. So all we're gonna do is just speed the process along, pull some Teflon off of here. The body shouldn't be too hot no more. Use a rag to be safe. Now, since I don't care about this piece, I'm just going to use a pair of pliers on it, and then I can be a little bit more aggressive with my heat and everything else. So that's what we're going to do. Now, this is probably a bit more difficult to do now that I figured out that there is a way to mess it up. Not necessarily for me, just kind of if you ever do build something like this, absolutely try to follow the procedure that I've given. Not for my own vanity, but for maybe for your own sanity, I guess. So let's move this down. Yes, I do sell all of those. I sell the big bird meter movements over there. I sell the small birds. I sell the 10 watts to 10,000 watt bird meters. I sell all of it. Bird is the word. Bird, bird, bird. Can't do that. I'll get copyrighted by somebody, I'm sure. Amazing how big fuddy dud people get in business. Everybody wants a piece of it. Now, it's not like I make anything, but there may be like a fair use statement that you can do as far as that stuff is concerned. Just wild to think about how somebody can trademark a certain statement that everybody kind of likes. But hey, they're the one who came up with it, so mostly greedy people who bought the song or producers did it, but same thing. They're still the ones who bought it. Again, I don't care about this. I'm just pulling this off. A little bit more heat. The only thing negative about these things is they're brass. And with them being brass, it is a major pain to not damage the threads. And that's what I just happened to do earlier. Not like it's a but I'll use a different piece of brass. Heat it up a little bit more, you'll see it fall. Watch it when it wiggles. See? Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. Something like that. Because this is I love how this is bonded. I'm so happy with it. So this means that somebody just randomly heating something up is very unlikely to ever take my connections apart, which is makes me very grateful, to be honest. Because that means what I'm doing is going to last for a long time, hopefully. Which is the hope. I'm not trying to get out of the shot. Let me get you guys zoomed into a better position. You gotta watch me work over here. I'll try to use the ripped out screw, and that worked just fine. Perfecto. Can't touch that. I'm about to sing another song. I need to quit. All right. So I'm gonna do something to this. Get me some threads going on right here. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna make a mistake. I might waste this connector, but I don't. I do care, but it's worth a shot. So we're gonna try something a little different. It's the heads on these are so small. It shouldn't matter. Let's see if I can do it. Threads. So I'm doing a split feed right here. If you guys don't already know. Anybody got questions? Look over here. Anybody got questions? Feel free to ask. How do I want to do it next? What I want to do? Yes, I want to do this. So let me get some brass down here. Handy, handy, dandy. Stuff right here. See how short the screws cut. We left about 3 or 4 threads off of that. We'll match the height. That one was not perfect, but pretty good. Pretty solid. We'll shoot for at least that. So it's pretty bad shape. Let's not use that. I don't know why that's even in there still, but I'll save it for later. It's in good shape. I think I should zoom out. What do you guys think? Because you guys are missing some of these things that I'm doing over here. If you guys don't care and you'd like to see me move on to the next part, then say nothing and I will. But if you'd like me to move the camera so you guys can see what I'm doing, I'm happy to move it. So clean these threads out. Pretty darn similar. That'll work for me. So split feed is not necessarily the most interesting thing for people, but it's something I have to do to do the rest of my work. So it is part of the job. We've already got the 7/8 one done, so that 7/8 wire that's back over there. So that one will be coming up super soon. Coming up on the block. This is good. I think I'm gonna set it up like this, maybe. Yeah. No, I can't do it. It's too much. This has got to be completely immersed. Do a little bit more water. Tippy tip top, just to try to. This is gonna spill. I'm gonna be complaining. Not really. I got plenty of rags. Make much of a hill of beans. Uh, here's the question. Should I do more or should I do less solder? I'll start with less. know what that was. Oh, it was the bottle, water bottle. I don't care if I waste solder doing this process. I'm checking temperature. That's why I'm hitting this on here. All right, throw this piece of solder over here before it becomes a problem. Sorry, my head's in the way, but we'll have to stay in the way for a moment. Takes a lot of heat to heat this up, of course. It looks like it's bonded very well, and I'm very happy with it, but I may just very well regret this in a major way here soon. I'm being too greedy. There ain't no way. There's just so much heat required just to get that one little connection. And I'm not trying to do the best. I'm trying to, well, I'm definitely trying to do the best I can for sure, but I'm not trying to go overkill. All right. Nice and bonded. I'm gonna pull this thing off even more. The key for this is not getting hot. I need local heating, but not the entire surface heating. Because if I heat too much of this, what happens is it messes up my dielectric. So let's clean this up, make her look pretty again, get on to the next part of this job, and then I'll show you guys a cool little bracket setup that I'm going to be doing here super soon. Well, should be done with this pretty shortly. I just gotta, that's all bonded. Feels pretty solid, so in just a minute. I'll need my O-ring. I've got an O-ring over here that I saved, but I also have another O-ring, but I don't need that one. So. You guys don't have any questions, y'all feel free to hop out there and say something. I can use either one of these. I'll use this one because this is I think it's the same one I just pulled off of this one earlier. Right now. I actually didn't say hello to you, Scott. Sorry about that. Hello, hello. Hope you're doing well. The YouTube land, you guys are being quiet. You'll feel free to ask if you want to know what the heck this is. I'll tell you anyway, even if you didn't ask. The connector-based split feed is what it is. So it allows me to build a connector, a normal connector on a customer's wire, and then I can put a split feed on it to allow them to hook to something alternate without having to modify or compromise their weather seal on their wire. So it's pretty neat, in my opinion. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, so now here's where I can hurt my own feelings. Very, very close to identical. Let's see if I've made any miscalculations, misjudgments, errors, or problems here in about, suppose you'd say, 30 seconds or so. As soon as I say, oh man, then you'll know that my overzealousness tightening this coax, not this part, but soldering that piece may come back to haunt me. The wrong side. Where's my All right. Caliper time. All right. Very, very happy. That's what we're looking for. We just need this to be nice and snug. It can move if I stress it hard enough, which is perfectly fine. I'm not concerned with that part because the whole connection's moving inside the body. The main thing I'm trying to do is one, I'm gonna throw a little bit of solder over the top of this edge just to keep this from, if it ever does unscrew off of there, there will be something to hold it in place. Kind of like a locking nut or something per se, but at least this one will be good to make it nice and gummy. So it'll should hold on there pretty well without coming loose. So, when I heat this up, I'm gonna have to retighten this. It's just out of it's plainly obvious. I can tell. All right, quickly, quickly, quickly. Get to work. Get to work. Get to work. I'm not burning this on myself. This thing's got to hold it at the right angle. How about stay away from my hands? Same thing. Just needed it to go flush. What happened was whenever I heated it up before, the solder that was up underneath it allowed me to tighten it up without it being perfectly flush. Now I can do that less. That I could, but me being a little aggressive, so I want to be careful not to burn myself. See if I can still say I'm very happy. Yeah, stupid happy. This is great. This method is the new, like I've said it before. This is for the gamer people in the group. This method is the new meta. That's it. Grabbed a little bit of extra solder. I didn't have to deal with it later. All right. See if this burger's loose. It is not. This one's not loose. We are good to go. Cooled it off. Nice and good. So now this thing is ready to go out the door. Ta-da! Go ahead and get on the bracket next. The bracket's going to be a little different. You guys, some of you guys have seen it. Other you guys have no clue what the heck I'm about to do. So, stay tuned here shortly. We'll see if I got one cut. If I don't have one cut, we'll go through the whole process together. All right. So let me look right here and, I'll tell you in just a moment. Because I cut several of these. I tried to prepare, but you know how well that goes sometimes. You're like, oh yeah, I built enough. And then sure as the world, you did not. I see my mock-up design over here. I see an extra over here, but not pre-cut. So looks like you guys are coming over to my homemade little workshop over here. I'm gonna show you guys the mount you guys are gonna go in. Maybe. Hang on, let me look real quick. Might be one more. Let's take a look. It might be a little too long though. That's it. I had one made. I had one left. I'm literally down to my last one. So let's bring it over here for you guys to check it out. This is a coax standout board right here. That will allow me to run a standoff for this customer's coax to hold it in place and keep it nice and still um, before they connect their split feed. Get the correct clamps. I've got a whole bin full of clamps down here. This should, gotta see which ones they are. I don't know if this is going to be them or the other ones are going to be them, but we will know here shortly. All right, you are not it. Not it. Nope. 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 Hey, careful not to put too many of these things out. Oh, crap. I didn't even know I bought that. Bought some little 1/4 inch little jobbies. That's pretty neat. All right. Let's check these and see how thick these are. They're too big. That's 1 inch. Not what I need. Okay, I feel like I bought some more of another size, but we're gonna check these out anyway, because I'm already here. I need to get some 1/2 inch flex from somewhere. The 1/2 inch flex will have some room to spare, but I've already had a fix for this solution too. It's going to be this bracket, this clamp, most likely. I need to grab some 1/2 inch hard line just for a comparison. I've got a whole pile of it somewhere. It's another room. Let me grab it. That's the only bad thing about having a shop. I mean, it's good and bad at the same time. Sometimes you have to go all the way over to the opposite corner of your shop just to find something that you're looking for. Bear with me for a moment. You can still hear my audio, luckily. At least I can talk. There's some 1/2 inch flex. There's some 1/2 inch hardware. Cool. Now I'm coming back over here to hang out with you guys again. I just need to do some markup, some measurement real quick. Feel like I had an in-between size, but yeah, I'll have to do the same thing. It'll clamp, but I'll need to do that for any of these anyway. So might as well start with this one. So what I found is this is the perfect little grip stop. Hot glue. Line this booger up. We need to line it up with the end of this edge right here. Actually, it doesn't really need to be right there. It needs to be somewhere right here. So we'll just arbitrarily pick a number. Doesn't matter what I pick, because it's not going to make much of a difference. So 1.25, that's what we'll go for. 1.25. Make a mark. Now, those are the lead spacing between the two of these. From center, this does have a little bit of play and gap and wiggle, so keep that in mind when you're measuring. I'm going to kind of put them to the wider end of the spectrum. Pretty much just 1 inch. Now we're going to go ahead and mark for center. I'm close enough. It doesn't matter. It can move. So I could have been precise, added an inch to this one. Well, whatever. Let's do it. 2.25. Close enough. That's the inch mark. So now I need a punch. We're gonna go ahead and get this. Pull you guys down lower. Waving hand, troubleshooter. Hope you're doing well. It'd be nice to be able to see those meters moving. That'd be really cool for real. Oh, which meter are you talking about? Meters up here? All these things right here? I will show you guys at some point. I've done some testing, so I've got another dummy load test I can do probably at some point. I think that would be completely acceptable. We have a dummy load test coming up. So I got to do a punch. So I'll be sitting over here. You guys have not ever seen an auto punch. It is a very neat and handy tool to have. Uh, Allows you to do something that you'd normally have to have a hammer and a steady hand to do. And this one you just push and it does what it needs to do. The only issue I'm having right now, currently at this exact moment in time, is I don't know where I set it. I also own several punches for this exact reason. Until I find it, we will be pulling out our backup punch because not holding up progress here. The backup punch should be in here. Watch me not have my backup punch. That'd be irritating. All right, backup punch is failing. Main punch over there somewhere, but I ain't digging for it right now. Measure the width of this entire unit real quick. Right at pretty much 6 on the money, so we'll cut it down to 3. Move that number out, move it up to 3. All right. There we go. Got our mark for center. Got our first punch to line up. Right in there. Again, there is some degree of variance and tolerance here. Luckily, drill 2 holes. This job is not complete, but well underway because there's not a whole lot to these brackets. Whoops. Sorry, guys. Now, I was thinking about doing something I'm going to regret. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to not regret it, and I'm going to go ahead and do it the correct way. So normally, yeah, that works. I don't like cutting this material over here, but I'm going to do it for the video. Yeah, I'll show you. We'll drive it with something and show you on a dummy load what it can do. Second, in the trash it goes. And now we'll use slightly wet rag. Clean up the back and the front. We'll see if these screws line up. We'll see if our rest of our stuff does what it needs to. So I've got several of these brackets, so I could, in theory, completely waste one if I needed to. I don't think that's going to be the case. So they're pretty easy to fix if I mess this up. First one done. Next one done. So now I'll put that back up there. Let this thing just do its little thing. Let these boogers dry out. So kind of got to waste a little bit of time right here. So I'm just going to start collecting my little spider web real quick. All right. That's pulled off now. Not completely, but of course a lot better than it was. Just roll it up into one big gobby mess. Sometimes it rolls better than that if I'm not so impatient. But I want to try to get started on that other wire today. So see if we can get to work on it. I'm gonna show you guys the connectors I'm gonna use on that while I'm getting every part prepped for it while this thing's drying. I did show you guys before, I believe, uh, but I'm not sure. I haven't on it. One there, that's fine. I haven't set anything out, got anything ready. Does not look like it. I've got my split feed, of course, ready, but now I got. For some reason, I feel like I should have prepped more than this. I guess I was just quoting. All right, one, two. Let's go get some more. Uh, three, four. For some reason, this statement seems very familiar. Like I've done this before, but I don't know. The cool thing is, if I have done it before and I've got four other connectors sitting out, all I got to do is put them up. That's not really that big of a deal. Just trying to save myself a little bit of extra cleanup time. Three, four. Now let's do some fun. I'm finishing up a custom bracket for a customer here. So this is what we're doing here, Rudy. I just finished a 7/16 spin split feed. I've got another 7/16 spin split feed right here. This one right here, I could probably, it moves with it. No, it's just rotating with it. This is fine. All right. So I've got another one right here. And then also I've got another 7/8 EIA split feed. here. So that's what this EIA one is. Gotcha. So now what I'm doing, finishing this bracket for a customer. So I'm running a test real quick. I've got some 1/2-inch flex that I had, just a moment ago right here. And now we're going to do a test clamp on it. Not quite enough. We'll add a little bit more heat. I wasted a bit of time not testing that. Now let's see if it clamps the 1/2-inch hard line. Hard line is folded in half and thrown in here, maybe. Oh, that's flat. All right, we're gonna have to do I mean, my bench is not even that big of a mess. It's just a little bit of stuff that's sitting there. I just keep putting this stuff out of my way. But yeah, I'm going to be doing some 7/8 EIA flanges right here. I'm going to be doing that on some 7/8 wire here in just a moment. All I've got to do is build this up with just a little bit more glue, make it super grabby, and then this clamp will be complete. As soon as I do that, then I'll be done. I just was crash or something. What did I do? All right, we're having a scavenger hunt. What we're going to do is we're going to zoom out right here, and we're going to play Find D-Win's scraps. See if he can figure out where he threw it. I literally just tested this about 30 seconds ago. And now, as you can see, there it is. Found it. Ta-da. Jeez, man. Sometimes that beats all I ever seen. And it's me. All right. So that clamp is excellent for clamping down on some 1/2-inch hard line. On 1/2-inch flex, there's a small difference in diameter. So all I have to do is add a little bit more to this. Let's get you guys down here. So as soon as this thing starts dripping, it's ready. I've got all my ends ready. I've got my split feed ready. Ooh, I just realized something I don't have, and I'm gonna have to get. Maybe I ordered it already. Pretty sure I don't have it. My butt's gonna. Yeah. Luckily, I got time. It's not a big deal, but I'm gonna have to order that. Yep, yep, yep. I don't have it. And I'll get that booger on the way tonight, and then we'll be done. Hot enough? Looks like it. So this is the one we need to build up. So the problem with this design that makes it irritating for me is I can't tell how close the design is to being complete until this completely dries. Uh, I could speed up the drying process, and I'm actually going to do that. And I'm going to drop it in some water. I just need it to hurry up and harden so I can get to work. I've never checked that if it's just like a thermal composition or if it has anything to do with like a time variance or anything like that. All right, 1/2-inch flex. That one I have an abundance of, and regardless of whether I have it sitting on my bench, I could care less. I have it in a bin back here. Perfect. Nice. So I'm going to go ahead and clamp this down, show you guys how the concept works. This is going to go on a boom like this. So it will mount up in this fashion like that. It'll be mounted on the side of the boom. This will mount right there. Coax will go along there and connect to its source. Now it's going to connect on the boom a little lower, kind of like that. And this is going to run about this high above the boom and go to the feed point. Nice. That was best case scenario there. not necessarily best case. I guess best case would have been the first time I soldered it. It would have been great, but m- more than acceptable nonetheless. Say we clamp this down, hook it up. Customer needs to get a U-clamp. The way I'll show you this real quick so you guys can picture the concept of it real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that big old 7/8 real quick because I don't want to have to get up and move and grab it again. But I'm gonna grab this U-clamp. So I have a small U-clamp, and then I don't know if I have a medium U. I guess I will this one. It'll serve the purpose. You guys will understand the concept at least. I don't need you guys to. Where's that one? Weighs doesn't weigh a lot, but when you add 200 foot together, then it starts weighing something. Sorry for the grip. It's a little heavy. And you gotta be gentle with it because the weight of the wire itself can damage itself. So here you are working with it. You gotta be easy with it. No, we still get, I'm pretty sure it got munched up. I ate some of it, before I left out, and then I threw it in the fridge last night, and not last night, what was it? It would have been Monday morning, and I'm pretty positive the wife is eating it. What she looks like, take a look at this right here. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, man, for sure. All right, so see how this clamp will go? You have a square boom right here. You mount the boom right there. Coax goes over top of the boom. The boom is going to be in this location right here. If you have a smaller round boom, you'll just do a clamp right here. You can do the clamp up higher, but there's no real point. You just want to clamp it somewhere where you got about this much spacing at least. You can clamp it at the point where it matches the height of your feed point. If you got a taller feed point, you can go lower. If you got a shorter feed point, you can go higher. That's how she sets up. Da 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 da. Coax clamp. Now let's get to work on this freaking monster wire here. This is our beast of the day. It's gonna be a bit of work. I don't know how much I'm gonna get accomplished today, but I'm gonna do some work on it. Um, this is definitely one of the videos that a lot of people end up liking more than other ones, uh, just because it's really big wire and people think it's pretty cool. Zoom out real quick so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna be fiddling with this wire over here. Yeah, I was exhausted last night. No, not last night, Monday. But I made it. I made it. Uh, main issue that happened with me is I just had to get home and, I messed around and hung around too long up in New Jersey. And, uh, everything was delayed after that. So, pull this end off. I have to straighten this wire for at least 8 or 10 inches or so, and then find the end of this. Now, what I do here, you see how this has got a bunch of, let me do all that trash that's inside that connection? That will absolutely bite you in the butt. Do not leave that in there. Uh, where is my cutters? Lock these together real quick. No, no. So I can get this stored out here. This right here is probably the most essential tool when you start getting into your bigger hard lines and hard line like this. It's by far the simplest and best option. There are definitely plenty of other options out there. So you're welcome to try whatever you wish, but I will advocate for this direction because it is super convenient, in my opinion. I have lost something else. Today is a scatterbrain day, guys. I used a razor over here. Now I've got to go track that down. I've got 3 razors so that I can be prepared and have everything I need, but I've got to make sure I get that figured out. Let's keep this chair over here. Maybe it'll stay still. Nope. Nope. Watch it be on my pocket, and that's exactly where that stupid thing was. I'm trying to get back to the swing of things, guys, but I think exhaustion is kind of, it's not even, I'm not even like super, super tired. It's just, I think one or 2 more days of good solid rest will put me back to where I can maybe not be so scatterbrained. All right. I'm going to put you guys in a pretty good spot, I think. The only thing you guys will be complaining about is my big ugly mug blocking the whole view. But this is a brass 7/8 EIA. The way it will look when it's complete is it will look like this right here. So it'll go on here, bolt on like that, and that's how that connector looks. So it's actually a bolt-on connector. So pretty neat. To make sure I cut this with a good chop. Cut screw up. One of the cool things about this is, at least on this end, I can start over. But you see when I cut it, watch what happens. Look at that end. Oh no, that end's ruined. You can no longer use that end anymore. Check it out like this. This is why most people shy away from this end. Ta-da! And then what I'm going to do is I'll redo this flange, and I'm going to build a flange outward. So this whole end will get fixed too at the same time. Not a complicated thing for actually avoiding all of this. This right here is what causes failures. People don't realize that. This does not cause failures as long as you maintain the dielectric spacing and get it back spaced out. Okay, next. Don't forget to put your heat shrink on. Leave it in place. Let's zoom back out because I'm going to be everywhere. That's be fine. I did some measurements before. So we have an O-ring here. We have an O-ring here. We also have an O-ring back here. So let's get everything laid out. Make sure I cut this jacket back far enough so it can seal properly. Everything I can just put over there. I'm in a terrible position. Why? But usually stuff like that just don't get to me. But I don't doing it. I need to sit in a better spot. Give me some. That crap hurts. It's the center over there. Now this, the way this is going to set up, this collet comes forward. That right there will screw you up because if you ever mess up and do this, which is very easy to do, and instead of that right there, then this whole connection can fail. If you look inside here, this right here with this bottomed out is going to sit right inside that edge. It's a very small edge for it to make contact in, right on the inside of that ring right there. Point at it with something that's not my big finger in the way. See, there's that much space between the two connections right there. That's exactly where my flange needs to hit. So when this lines up, let's go ahead and get my pliers to get my connection back rounded out. Somewhere close. Don't have to be perfect. See, this will slide on like that. So this will do its job. Go on the way it needs to. This right here will sit on this inside edge, and then it'll go all the way this raise. I need to measure to that. The rest of this is just going to be extra fluff and will be an overlap, which is fine. That overlaps are great. I'm a big fan and advocate for overlaps. I may have to do this longer than what I'm measuring because I think I may have had to modify it last time, but calipers right here. I need like a temporary workspace caliper, workspace, how far back? Now you guys can see me work. Um, there's not much bench work you can do with a wire that's 200 foot long. It's going to be off the end of your bench. So your bench is just mainly a collection source at this point. So, all right. Let's measure this. I need to do a plunge test. Let's just lock it, whatever. From here to this little inside edge. See what that is? This little edge right here is where this is going to be. So I can look right here on this end and I can see that this groove will sit right in here. So this is how far this connection is going to need to go back. We'll loosen it up, we'll it up, we'll zero it out, and then let's measure what that length ends up. Around 20 millimeters. Now, what I do here is something a little unorthodox for a lot of you guys. Like this tool right here. I do not cut with this tool. Somebody's gonna look at this video. Oh yeah, you use a set of pipe cutters. Cuts it perfect. No, it will not. Do not use the pipe cutters to cut it. Only reason I did that was to make a nice little straight edge. because sure as the world, you think you're the best. Here you go, and this booger's crooked. So I don't know what's going on with this. Whatever. What's up, YouTube? Hope you guys are doing well. I know you guys are still hanging out, but if you guys are curious and want to know what this stuff is, please ask. I'll get a lot more guys coming in here Thursday because y'all seem to be very interested in a wire that's about the size of a water pipe. But what's crazy is I'll be working on this wire, which is bigger, and you guys like this wire more, or at least it consistently seems that way. I think some of my most popular videos are this wire right here. And that's YouTube and Facebook both. All right. Let's booger up. Oh, let's sit with some lubricant first. Where is it at? I've got those two lubricants over there, and I'm well aware about them. Use them. Unless I need to. So over. Node up. I'm in the way. I'm just gonna back up. I was waiting for somebody to ask. Um, this coax is a much larger coax than most. This coax right here and this coax right here is used a lot of times in telecommunications. It's used in a lot of your stuff. Back a couple years back when 4G was a real big thing, it was used a lot of times in your cell phone tower setups. Um, it's just a very low attenuation wire that's capable of running uh, a more output on most spectrums than other wires. Uh, Typically in broadcast, I would say the attenuation is the reason that broadcast likes it so much. In other fields, there's just various reasons. Just depends on who's getting it. Some guys like, oh, that's good power wire. It holds a good power. Other guys say, oh, yeah, that wire's got some excellent attenuation. Other guys will say, that wire's got a 20-year outdoor rated jacket. Like, there's a bunch of different reasons people choose stuff. But the exact reason why is unknown. All right, so now let's see if I've made a mistake in my measurement. So whenever I line this up, slide this all the way down, this right here, it should hit right here. Does it? That's the question. Does it hit where I think it does? I would say it does. This right here definitely has to go down over this edge. What I don't know, I'm trying to figure out, let's line this up all the way. And somehow this is keeping me from lining up. Let me see if this is too long. Just a second. This right here is 20 mils, right? So if I go down, how did I mess that up? No, that's 20 mils with this. Oh, okay. My bad. My bad. So I just got to cut this back one more rung and we'll be good to go. Um, I'm not even going to pull the O-ring off. I'm just going to go ahead and, uh, cut this jacket back. I'll just do it by hand. All right. But yeah, they make bigger wire than this, though, believe it or not. Sorry, my head's getting away for a second. Oh, that was a YouTube question for the guys on Facebook wondering who the heck I'm talking to. And then Twitch is over there being quiet. So gotta be careful. I'm gonna cut my wire. Slide that on over. O-ring is ready. Prepped. So now what we do is build our flange. Get on inside here. I'll show you guys how that works. Hey, now the chat shows up on YouTube. Well, that was weird. It still don't show all of it. Maybe that's a problem. I don't know. I've yet to figure out how to monitor comments properly on YouTube. So I can definitely check it out over here though. Yes, I do have an Instagram. It's the same name. Yeah, this is 7/8 hardlines. What this is? Nope, it's not mic cable. Oh, I know, right? It's crazy, isn't it? All right. There's a video on my website that shows me working on, some of this stuff and good Lord, it's a bear. I'm putting a connector like this on it. This is a connector. Right. So slide that connection on right there. Of course, there's a lot more to it. I'm showing you guys, but it's literally 4 bolts to go onto that wire. And you know, the funny thing is, here you go. You ready for this? That's not the biggest it's made. There's a connector that takes 6 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I didn't have that in the shot, right? But whatever. And that's how big the center conductor is. The center is literally as big as what this one is in its entirety. That's just the center conductor of the wire. And the funny thing is, that's not even the biggest. I got a bigger connector here than that. So yeah, it's wild for sure. There's an extreme side of anything though. I'm an RF supply company, so I build for all sorts. I don't care who wants it. I'll build for whoever. You're Joe Blow, or you're the airport down the street, or you're shoot. I don't care. I'll build for whoever. I'm an RF supply company. Not not partial. I do have friends in a lot of the fields, though, for sure. I just went to Lapa Hoi Hoi for a lot of the for some of my friends. They were very cool, good peoples. Uh, very good event. I'll be going to multiple other events this year that will have some, definitely some more hobbyist level stuff rather than all forms of what this could be. Well, now that goes in there. Technically, I am done, but because I'm me and I don't really, like that, I'll be doing something a little different. So we'll be snatching our little water pail back. turn it here. Based out of Georgia, location wise. But yeah, there's a lot of course, some test equipment over here. This is a vector network analyzer right there. That's a transmitter tester up to 4 gigahertz there. That's another 4 gigahertz transmitter tester. Company name, of course, is D-Wave's RF supply. That right there is a bird meter right there. Another bird meter there. Bird, bird, bird. More bird, more bird. And then have a collection of other birds over there. So that's all ways to measure RF output. Yes, the center conductor is hollow. So if I was to cut this back at RF frequency, that's something that's very confusing for any. I've talked to a lot of my electrical electricians, and there's a disconnect there. So a lot of guys that get into deep into the electrical field or deep into the electrical engineering field, um, what ends up happening is they'll look at something and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I get how that works. And there's current that goes on a conductor, and there's things like that that happen. And we have to have a certain amount of ampacity. We have resistivity. There's things they understand all those concepts. But when I start talking about skin effect, then they're like, what? What the heck is skin effect? Skin effect is the depth that RF is allowed to penetrate by design itself in through any given conductor. The higher in frequency you go, the less depth that it can actually penetrate in the wire to actually be considered useful. So if I was to grab, say, a solid wire, I don't really care what wire. Let me zoom in over there. I got some 4-aught over there. So if you look over there, all those black wires right there, up underneath that box, every one of those is 4-aught, 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 right? So if I was to go and take the same concept right here, there you go, skin effect. You called it. So if this is hollow, it doesn't care. All it uses is a surface. So you can flatten this braid out and it would actually be effective at higher RF frequencies. Now, yes, sir, you definitely. All right, so let's get back to work on this next piece. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of solder to this connection. I want to keep this nice and cool. I don't know if the method that I'm using is going to be the best, but we are going to try it nonetheless. I think I need to put a short spacer up underneath here. So I'm doing something odd. I'm being a little extra. The way these connections are designed is they're designed to have not even a compression, but more of a tension fitting. So it has outward tension. If there's a lot of heat cycling, maybe for whatever reason that tension comes loose. So for me, I don't really put it to chance. I'm going to go ahead and solder. It's not going to be absolutely perfect because it's extremely hard to get inside there. And also, of course, extremely hard not to damage the center conductor, the dielectric too much while I'm doing this. Let me see if I can find something. I got to find something that's about, I don't know, a couple millimeters tall. And I'm just looking around on my bench real quick to see what I can find. I don't really care what it is. I'll use this black tape right here. So all we're going to do is just bundle it up, make it a little taller. It's probably something like that. Throw that in the water. It floats, so that's going to be annoying. Too much. Or not enough, excuse me. Could throw a battery in the water, but let's not do that. So technically I just need something a little, not quite as full as this, or just a little bit, not as dense as this. Let's see. Altoids 10. See if it'll do it. Let's sync it first. Very nice. All right, we're goofing off too much. Let me quit. Not deep enough. That won't work. Sorry guys, I gotta figure out a method because what happens with a lot of heat cycling, this right here will expand. So I like to have it cooler, and I'm gonna use something different, I guess. Oh no. Oh, let's do this. Maybe. Nope. Too much. See, this is too tall. Puts me above my source. I'm going to come up with something, but I'm just, like I said, just give me a second. Figure it out. Maybe this will work. Think that's got it. Cool. So I just need to keep this source cool while I'm heating it up. Well, got there. But again, this is not a required task. This is absolutely something I'm going to do for my customers, though. I cooled it off too fast. That's design what I just did right here. Worst case scenario, I screw up and it just cools off. So if it falls in the water, it's not going to hurt anything. It's not going to mess up my plans or my build or anything like that. If I was doing something a little bit more, if I was doing this a little bit more often, I may do a different design, something a little bit, like a jig. Now, if I was smart, I would have been a little bit more prepared. And what I would have done is I went ahead and started heating this like I was doing, like I've done before in the past. Let's zoom out real quick. Let's we're back on this part. Catch you later, Peter. Hope you have a good one. Yeah, heck yeah, man. Appreciate it for sure. I appreciate the support. I'll be working on this wire Thursday again and Friday. I work Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Friday and Saturday, I'll probably be working on doing some tower work. So that will be my current set of affairs that I'll be working on. I think I'm going to put you guys over here so you guys can see a little better. I think my head's just going to stay constantly in the way if I don't do that. So, all right, there's really. Jeez, oh crap. Like blowing me up. I know who it is. They're sick and in bed. So I am the prime target at the moment. So now we're going to go a step further. Try not to get too aggressive with this. I'll line this up. This is going to be a little bit of a balancing act. So I've got to get this with the pliers at the perfect time, and I got to pull this other one out, but it's not getting too hot. And with short window, I can do this. Whoa, there we go. 1, 2, 3. Now I heat this up. Watch my finger. Nice. That didn't work as smooth as I liked, but that's still great. It's fine. No complaints. Pull it off. Don't care if I get myself wet. I just need to get this thing cool. I have forefinger. The flame, whenever it goes like that, it spreads really fast. So it got my finger a little bit, but not bad. Very, very minuscule. Now, here's the part where I can cry. Not really, but I could if I was complaining about this. But if I can pull this off, then I didn't do my job. Okay, I can't pull it off. Yay! Claps for me. Y'all need to do like the little clap emojis or something on my thing that said a good job. Make me feel better. All right. So now comes this part. That's where we lock in. Actually, first things first, let's go ahead and add some lubricant to our O-ring. Lock in our body. And if I need to, I'm going to go another step. I typically don't do this, but we'll see in just a moment whether that becomes a problem or not. I did something a little bit different on this build, and I don't have the flange. I have the flange like the factory does, and actually a bit better, but it's not the absolute best flange I've ever built. And I absolutely, when I'm doing these tests, I tell you guys to try to pull the connector off. And guess what happens? If I try and pull this connector off and it comes off, guess what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to be modifying this flange so it doesn't come off. So you guys will see in a moment whether I've made a mistake or not. And I'm working on this wire and doing some more work on this shield. No, hold this backwards. Let me straighten that out. Actually, that back doesn't have to, it doesn't really matter on this wire, but the front connectors I want to move anyway. Because this has a rotating flange, it doesn't matter which way I touch it. But now, here's my job. Try to pull it off. If I can pull it off, I got to redo it. Okay, pull it off. So that means we did a good job. Now, don't be trying to pull it off left and right and like just wrench it off. It's copper. You can break it, and you can also kink it too. But try to pull it straight off. If you can pull it straight off, you didn't put it on right to begin with. So come on around. I didn't see that, Jeffrey. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. It definitely is for sure. Some of the biggest guys out there will do this stuff for sure. All right. So heat this booger up. Do my heat shrink on. Let me slide my tips a little closer. Oh no. The reason I move my torch fast is because technically it's more heat than what a heat shrink can handle. Heat shrink is designed to be heated on by a heat gun, but I've tried the heat gun multiple times and that's fine. But I have some major complaints with it. It doesn't always heat evenly the way it, runs the heat shrink down, especially with some of the monster heat shrink that I use. And, sometimes it'll make little air bubbles and stuff. Of course, you can mitigate that by how you do the heat gun, but then you have to deal with the backside of rolling up, and then it's another major pain. So I like speed, and this definitely does a good job. All right, let's put the center bullet in, show you guys the finished product. Da 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 da. Well, leaves the bullet all the way in. There we go. There we go. That's how she sets up. Get the focus on the right actual thing. Let me see if my autofocus is on. Autofocus is on, so it should focus right there. Or whatever. Zoom, zoom. That's how she looks. It's focusing behind it, or whatever. All right. Catch you guys later. This is the end of today's video. I am out of time. I've got, uh, 3 more of these to do, on a custom build. And then I've got to do well, I've already finished it actually, but I'll show you how I got this connects really. This is how the split feed works. So I'll have a bolt that goes through the front of this right here. So line this booker up where it's on the right one. That's the correct one. There'll be an O-ring that goes in between there, but this is how the split feed works. You got your main center contact. You got your shield right there. Ta-da! That is a connector-based split feed, but it's significantly more powerful than most all the other split feeds that I have. I make an 1 5/8 split feed. It's cool also. But that's what it looks like. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out. I will do, probably another live on Thursday. I've got to get some more parts in. I just realized that I didn't have something ordered I needed to have ordered. So I'll be back, on Thursday with hopefully the rest of this build. Now it's kind of a stretch if I don't get that part in time. Probably. I'm not sure if I can 2-day it or not. So it might end up turning into a Monday job, but I'll show you guys the other piece real quick for the guys that missed it. Check this out. Y'all ready? I've been talking about it for a while. You saw the RG400 and you saw the RG393 on my bench, but here is a super custom, pretty dang cool little setup. Not necessarily super custom, but it's just pretty neat. This is a Teflon 1/2-inch wire right here. So if you look, let me get myself in the way and block you guys out real quick. You guys can see my back for a moment. How the heck did that happen? That was like perfect. The zip tie went inside the blade and got stuck. All right. So we have your RG400 right here, which is about a 1/4 inch or smaller, really, size wire. Then you got your 3/8 size wire, which is your RG393. Now you got your 1/2 inch size wire right here. And I can get this up to a 1 inch, in Teflon. So it's pretty sweet. This right here can handle the same power that this right here can handle. This right here cannot. As much as people try to claim it does, it cannot. The center conductor is just not large enough. The center conductor is not as large as that one on this one. So it definitely can have some, it's possible you could have some heating on it and stuff like that. But it definitely will hold up to more than what that one will be. But according to the manufacturer, it is rated at 15,000 average, as is, 7/8 hardline. That's should be 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year operation. Uh, Now 393, I think, like I said, I would say it about 10,000 average would be about the highest I'd run through it. In my opinion, I wouldn't go much bigger than that. As much as people Could do more. It probably wouldn't arc because it's Teflon wire, but that's how it sets up. All right, guys, that is the end of today's video. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll catch you guys later. See y'all.